Okay, welcome back for this next portion of the lesson. We've already covered the vocabulary words and the definitions and the phrases. We've already watched the videos about debate. So up to that point, does anybody have any questions maybe about any of the terms? Especially the terms that we're going to use during the debate. I mean, yes.
Can we go over assertion?
Assertion. Okay, good. Because that's the first thing we're going to talk about as far as selecting our topics. An assertion is the topic or the claim that we're gonna make. All right. So is that good?
Yes.
All right. Anybody have any questions about some of the other terms we're going to use? Ivan.
A resolution?
Resolution. Oh yeah, let's look that one up. Oh, here it is. Okay. So the statement. All right. So let's say we're gonna talk about like computers. So your resolution would be something like everybody should have a computer. So that's your big argument. All right. So does that kind of give you a better explanation?
Yes.
All right. Anybody else?
How about evidence?
Evidence. All right. Evidence. That goes into, like, for instance, studies, journals, personal eyewitness accounts. Those things can be considered evidence versus things like I think, or I feel, or I believe, which are some of the things that we talked about in our previous lesson. All right. Are there any other questions? All right. Does everybody understand we're going to have an opening statement where you're going to be able to cover your resolution, your assertion, all right? And then rebuttal, we've talked about that you're going to be able to kind of like, what did you say, James, in the last lesson about where you get to contradict them, counter their argument. So we're going to do that. All right, so if there aren't any more questions about the vocabulary or the process or the phrases, we'll move on to the sheet about the rules. So the rules about a debate, the first things that I'm going to say about the rules about a debate are it has to be decisive enough in the popular culture to spark a debate. So something that you heard in the news maybe that's been argued, pros and cons that we talked about in our terms. For example, computer usage, internet usage, social media, education, love, relationship, those kind of topics are okay. The things that we want to avoid are things that could offend your fellow students because we all come from a variety of different backgrounds, traditions, cultures, so we want to be sensitive to that, all right? So keep that in mind when we're going to toss out some ideas about what we're going to debate, okay? All right, so I need somebody to read, James, if you would read the first two lines on the debate rules and procedures, because those are important. I'm just going to kind of reiterate what I just said.
Okay. Avoid any personal attacks regarding character, gender, culture, religion, ethnicity, race, etc. And then everybody must stay on topic.
Very good, very good. All right. So here's the deal. We're going to go into coming up with some ideas that we're going to debate, all right? And then, along with that sheet where James just read, you notice on the top, it has resolution, assertion, reason, and evidence. That's going to be used for homework, all right? So, real quick, let's talk about some of the topics. Let's one at a time, okay, that we might discuss. All right, anybody have an idea?
Texting and driving.
Texting and driving, all right, that's one. Anybody
Free
have?
college.
Free tuition, okay, two. Anybody have any other? Ivan?
The wall.
The wall, three, that's very debatable. Anybody else?
Legalizing marijuana.
Legalizing marijuana, okay, good. So those are four good topics that are kind of open right now. You kind of hear it in the news media, and it just so happens that I have them written down right here. So we'll go with those. So what we need to decide now is out of these four, which ones do we really want to debate about in the next lesson? marijuana.
Yeah.
marijuana.
Alright, so we're gonna cross out the law, texting, driving, free tuition, and we're gonna go with marijuana should it be legal or not. Alright, so for the next lesson, next week, I need y'all to take these sheets. You got a sheet already with all the terms and the definitions. I need y'all to do some research about the topic. Alright, let's go ahead and decide now who's gonna be the pro and the cons.
I'm a con.
Con? Con?
Pro.
So you guys by default gonna be pro. Alright, so you know what you gotta do. You got your terms. We'll see y'all next week. Alright? Thanks. Good job. Hey, welcome back. Man, we've had a week to discuss this topic, to do some research. I hope everybody's done a little bit of research. Alright? And now we're going to begin the debating process. So now we're going to go over some of the vocabulary and the rules if you need it. Does anybody need to go over it? No? Everybody's good? Alright, super. Alright, so now I'm going to need y'all to actually begin the debate. But, so you already paired. Everybody knows who's the pros and the cons. Now remember, the whole intent of this exercise is not to make you a great debater. The whole intent of this exercise is to allow you to use critical thinking, to evaluate an argument, and to be able to express yourself verbally and support your position. Alright, that's the whole intent of this exercise, for you to practice speaking and supporting your position using critical thinking. So reading, speaking, and listening. Because you have to listen to your pros and the cons, because you're going to rebut, remember? Okay. So everybody has their sheets with their notes and the rules. Everybody knows that you're going to get 1 minute. It's going to be a very fast-paced debate. Alright? So everybody look over your notes. Get yourself ready to begin the debate. And I will be moderating. In other words, I will say, okay, team 1, the pros, opening statement. You got 1 minute. Alright, time's up. Team 2, same thing. Alright, time's up. Rebuttal, and then discussion, then closing statement, and that'll be the end of the debate. So hopefully you have your notes and you're ready to get started. Alright, I'm going to set the timer. Alright, Ivan and E, you guys are going to open the debate. Ready? Remember to start with your the assertion. We already know we're talking about marijuana legalization. Ready? Go.
Marijuana should be legalized for medicinal purposes only.
Alright, so that's your...
That's my assertion.
Alright.
My reason is, well, I have a lot of reasons, but...
Alright, we're going to stop there because you've already finished your assertion. Now you guys give them your assertion about whether it should be legal or not.
Okay.
Ready? Start.
Marijuana should not be legalized because it could lead to potential abuse.
Alright, that's your assertion. Alright, good. Stop. Alright, so now, team 1, pros, do you have anything to say about what their... No, I'm sorry. Team 2, do y'all have anything to say about their first assertion that it should be legal for medicinal purposes?
Wait.
Is there any problems with it? In other words, is there any problems with it being legal for medicinal purposes? Are there any problems with it?
Like, if someone buys it and, like, uses it for resale instead of, like, the medical part,
That
or
could be an issue?
when sellers buy it to sell it illegally?
Yeah, that's another one. Alright, 2, your time's up. Alright. Now you guys rebut their assertion. Ready? Start.
Marijuana is very beneficial for patients specifically who are experiencing chronic pain. It can also help them not be addicted to opiates, which is a huge epidemic going on in America right now.
Alright, any other arguments? Alright, stop. Okay, now you've heard their side, but it should be legal, she's saying it should be legal because what? There's people that you know that have used it and have benefited from it. She's read some articles. Y'all have anything to say about that? Start.
There has been an article that was released that an individual obtained legal marijuana and was charged with a criminal offense for reselling.
Is that all y'all have?
Yes.
Okay, stop. Alright, so each one of y'all have had a chance to make your statements, to support your position, to criticize or, like you said, come back and cross-examine those first, their position. So now let's have a quick discussion. Alright, so, does everybody feel comfortable with each other's positions? Yeah? Okay. Alright, you guys are very chatty. Alright, so now we're going to do the closing statement. Alright, so I'm going to give you, Team 1, a chance again to restate your assertion, and then Team 2, the cause you restate yours. Alright, ready? Go on, Amy.
Medical marijuana should be legal for medicinal purposes because it can help patients who, like I said before, have experienced chronic pain or are diagnosed with terminal illnesses like cancer. Cancer patients usually cannot eat because of the amount of chemotherapy they have to undergo. And we all know marijuana, when you use it, one of the symptoms is the munchies. That helps cancer patients.
Alright, your time's up. Alright, you guys, what is your final, strongest statement to support your position?
Since it could lead to abuse, all the reselling and stuff like that, can be bad for like the actual right sellers, like the ones who actually sell it properly. It could be bad for them. Like
I think there's more negative than positive.
It's
than
not
legalizing
negative.
it. Based on what you've read in articles in these other states like California and Colorado.
Yes.
Alright, time's up. Very good. Alright, so now, let's take a vote. Who do you think had the strongest position, the strongest evidence? Those who think that the people for legalizing it had the strongest evidence and position, raise your hand. Okay, so it's unanimous. We should make it legal and use it. But yeah, I kind of get the idea. I know some of y'all were a little bit timid about opening up and discussing, but I think that all of y'all did a good job, you know, for what you could, and I appreciate it. And I hope that y'all have learned something, and you can practice this in your daily life. Not so formally though. This is a very formal debate, alright?
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, thanks for coming to class. We'll see y'all later. Next week, bye.